What's going on, everybody? Triple Crown 24 back today. You know it must be a big video if I'm wearing a collared shirt, right? I'm just messing with you. But I am very excited about today's announcement. So I'm not going to reiterate all that was said last night, but I am going to be doing a new Super Collectors podcast on Friday, July 31st from 6 to 7 p.m. as part of something that's called Hobby Palooza 2020. You'll hear me say this a lot today, but link in the description down below to the video that kind of introduces the idea of it. Basically what it is it's a social aspect of the National, kind of done virtually in lieu of the National during the weekend that the National is supposed to be here in the summer. I know it's still scheduled for December. I'm very skeptical if that's going to happen. We'll see. If it does, I'm on the fence about going. I'm leaning more towards yes. That's a different discussion. But it's going to be some of your favorite YouTubers on here. It's going to be Tops, Panini, Beckett are all going to be involved. We have Blake Jameson, Project 2020 artist. We have special guests. I don't know who they are, but special guests. That does sound exciting. So I'm looking forward to seeing all that. It's going to be fun, interactive, and it's not just the people who are hosting these segments that we're going to have during this. A lot of creators are going to want to get other people involved, including myself. And I've already been brainstorming with a lot of people. We're trying to figure out how we can get as many people involved as possible. And it's fantastic because you can get involved basically with the National without having to pay for all the expenses of going to the National. So for my segment, Friday, July 31st, 6 to 7 p.m., I'm doing a special Super Collectors podcast. And there's going to be a lot of different ways to get involved. So I'm going to kind of go over it. For my segment here, kind of what the overview is. But if you want to know more about Hobby Palooza, link to the website for it and the original video are in the description down below. So for my segment, this podcast is going to be a little different. Instead of one person and one player collection that we're going to focus on, it's going to be more of a rapid fire type of thing. So it's going to be kind of a speed dating type of atmosphere where you're going to come in. If you want to come in on the stream, talk about, where are you on social media? Are you on YouTube? Are you on Twitter, Instagram? There's probably some I'm missing, but whatever your social medias are where you show off cards of your super collection, I want to hear about it. We want to put that out there to advertise your stuff and talk about your collection. Maybe show off some of the cards that you have. This is all still kind of coming together. I'll try to provide more details as we get closer, but really I want to give creative freedom to whoever comes on. This is going to be a lot to manage, so I do need a co-host for this. So I've picked someone who is very knowledgeable about all four major sports, and then even outside of the big four sports in North America, kind of some of the other sports as well. So I've chosen Bean's Ball Card Blog, link to his channel down below. His name is Kin. If you're not familiar with him, he is a fantastic member of this community, someone who I've very much connected with over the past year or so. He has a very good presence over on Twitter as well. He's also on Instagram. He's all over the place. He's very good at handling conversation, which is definitely what I need. Definitely giving him a lot of the reins to kind of do a lot of the talking here. I'm going to kind of work more on the technical side of things, kind of filtering people in and out. And I'm going to have him, help me out carrying the conversation and basically poking everybody who's in there to spill the beans on their collection. So really looking forward to that. Like I said, Ken's a great guy. We're going to brainstorm ourselves here probably in the next week or so about kind of some of the specifics that we're going to look at. But TBD on a lot of that. So what's going to be really cool is I'm going to compile a list. So if you do appear on the podcast, you will be put on the list as well. If you don't want to be on there, like you don't want to show your face, you don't want to show your collection, you can't make it, whatever the case may be, or maybe we run out of time, that's definitely going to be a very real possibility. I'm going to put together a list of all of the people with all of their social medias and who they collect. And then I'm going to do a special video that will be released the next morning before day 2 of Hobby Palooza starts that will shout out all of those people. And there will be a link to it as well. I'm going to use like one of those online notepad things to do it, or a Google Doc, one of those. I'll figure it out. So you'll be able to see all those people there. So there's ways to get involved without actually being there on that day. And that will be, that video is going to be archived and everything so people can go back and watch it. So it's kind of just a showcase of super collectors. And I'm really looking forward to being able to do that and kind of highlight some really cool collections out there. I think it's something that's going to be a little bit different than some of the other segments, and that's definitely something that I wanted to do. The really, really cool part about this, and I'm very excited to talk about, is going to be the giveaway that is with it. And that is, there is no giveaway. Tricked you. No. So there's going to be a lot of great prizes that are given away during the various 1 hour segments across the entire weekend. Mine is going to be a little bit different. So I'm not actually going to be giving anything away to anybody who's watching the stream. I'm going to treat my portion as kind of a fundraiser. So 100% of the proceeds from this fundraiser are going to go towards a charity, which I'll talk about here in a second. But basically, the breakdown of it is that at the bare minimum, I'm guaranteeing that we will raise at least $100 for charity. I know it's not a huge amount, but it is, it's impactful at least. And what's going to happen is for every super collector that we get, and by the way, if you could just limit it to one of your players, if you have multiple super collections, just pick one, whatever your biggest one is. Just for the sake of time, for the shout outs, if someone's got like 7 different super collections, that is nice. But I want to make sure that we have time to get to everybody. So please just choose one if you have multiple ones. But with this, for every super collector that gets listed on that list, so the ones who appear on the stream or the ones who just sign up on the Google Doc, I'm going to be donating $1 to the charity of my choice, which I'll talk about here in a second. Like I said, I was a little hesitant about this. If I am at 1,000 subscribers by the time that this goes down, I am going to enable Superchat. I know. Everybody's going to the dislike button. They're unsubscribing. They're writing mean comments. Yeah, I know. But there is going to be a Super Chat that I will enable for this stream, and 100% of the proceeds for that will go towards the charity as well. There is one individual as well. I asked if I could have permission to share his identity before I said this. So Mike, Baseball Collector, told me that when I ran this idea by him, that he would match whatever I donate. So, he's going to match it. So I'm guaranteeing at least $100 for myself. By the way, that $1 per super collector, that is something that I'm donating personally. He's going to match that. So that's at least $200 that we're going to raise for charity here. On top of that, there's going to be other ways. If you're interested in just donating outright and you can't make it to the stream, I will find ways to do that. I'm possibly a GoFundMe, but they take a good cut of it. So I might try to set something up with my Venmo or something. I'll figure it out. More details to come on that. But hopefully we'll raise quite a bit. From there as well, there's going to be different ways that we can fundraise with it as well. And the charity that I'm going to be choosing here is one that is very near and dear to my heart. It is a charity of one of my favorite athletes of all time, just a fantastic human being in general, and that would be Curtis Granderson's Grandkids Initiative. So his initiative has several different areas of that you can donate to. There's a lot of different places that he is involved in. So I had to choose one, and I figured because the reason that this Hobby Palooza thing is happening in the first place is because there is no national. Well, why is there no national? It's due to COVID-19. And it's an unfortunate situation, but let's try to make the most out of it, is my idea with it. So he has a COVID-19 emergency response fund. Basically, what it goes towards is children who are out of school right now, or will be out of school due to COVID. Again, school's going to be looking at, some of them I think are supposed to start back up as soon as like this week or something. Some of those kids going back early. I don't know exactly what, going back to school is going to look like, but I know there's definitely going to be some challenges with funding. And there's also going to be some families that have been impacted by this where certain kids can't afford school lunches, and maybe school funding, if there's issues with that, um, it's going to be impacted on the ability to provide free or reduced price lunches or meals. And some of these kids, that's really the only meal they get, or they only are going to have one meal at home, one small meal. They might not know where their next meal is coming from. So, um, it's a really difficult situation, and anything that I can do to kind of contribute to it, I'm more than happy to contribute. So that's kind of what I want this to kind of go towards. And it's hopefully this will, I know there's no giveaway, but I feel that this is definitely something that's very appropriate given the circumstances, and we can do some good with this Hobby Palooza thing. We can have some fun with it too, but we can make an impact. So just by adding your name to the list of super collectors to be shouted out, that's a $1 contribution that you're already giving. That's out of my pocket. You don't even have to give it yourself. So hopefully I explained that well. I'm kind of all over the place because I'm really excited about the idea. Someone, I forget who it was, so apologies, pitched to me the idea of a fundraiser for YouTube. Like, you can set them up, like some musicians have done it with like songs they've released, or some bigger, like, million plus subscriber channels. I don't know, all those people. But they have these fundraisers as well. I don't know exactly how that works. I will look into it. But there might be a way to actually directly donate with the YouTube fundraiser thing. But I'm going to try to figure that out ahead of time before this stream. I don't know if I'm large enough of a channel to be able to do that. But yeah, so the TLDR version of the video, Super Collectors podcast, to shout out a bunch of different people, co-hosted by Beans Ball Card Blog as part of Hobby Palooza 2020. If you are a super collector, please fill out the Google form down below or get into touch with me so I can add your name to the list. Any name added to the list, $1 donation from me that will be matched, and then possibly even more that will go towards COVID-19 relief efforts by the Grandkids Initiative COVID-19 Emergency Relief Fund. So very excited to get into this. That will happen on July 31st. Until then, later this week, I'll be back with a couple of PSA submission reveals, and then kind of business as normal after Hobby Palooza is said and done. So appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to see you next time. Until then, have a good one.